You ever reach that point where frustration turns into disbelief? Because that's where we are right now. I'm not even angry anymore, I'm just shocked. What we watched tonight wasn't football. It was a meltdown, on every level. And the worst part? It feels like we're falling even lower than last year. Before we dive deeper into this mess, before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. Now, let's talk about what went wrong, because the list is long. The defense gave up 40 points. 40. The special teams? A disaster. Tom McMahon's unit looked completely lost again, and honestly, it's been that way for years. Kick returns, punt coverage, every phase, just chaos. And if those two sides weren't enough to ruin the night, our offense decided to join the collapse too. It's painful to admit, but this team might actually be worse than last season's version. Worse than the Josh McDaniels era. Worse than the Antonio Pierce days. And somehow, under Pete Carroll, a man known for leadership, this looks like a team with no direction, no heart, and no fire. How is that even possible? And what about this Chip Kelly, Geno Smith experiment? I thought it would be a dream pairing, smart coach, experienced quarterback. But right now, it's a nightmare. Two stubborn minds trying to control the same playbook, and neither willing to say, I was wrong. We're paying top dollar for a coaching staff that's giving bottom-tier results. The red zone looks clueless. Ashton Gentry barely sees the field when it matters most. Everything feels forced, like they're trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. And then there's the leadership problem. Some players are treated like favorites, while others have to fight for every snap. It's unfair, it's obvious, and it's breaking the locker room. I miss the Pete Carroll who coached with fire, the one who led with energy and emotion. Now, it feels like we're watching a tired old man just trying to keep things calm. But football isn't calm. It's chaos, passion, and fight, and this team has none of it. Right now, the Raiders look like a circus under the Vegas lights, and the story practically writes itself. But here's the real question for you, is it time to bench Geno Smith? Drop a yes or no in the comments, because this fan base deserves to be heard. Stay with me, we're just getting started. You know what really stings? Watching a coach lose touch with reality. Chip Kelly stood there calling out players, acting like he's got it all figured out, but right now, it feels like he's the one lost in his own playbook. This offense doesn't just look confused, it looks broken. And here's the truth, fans like us, we put in time, energy, emotion. We live and breathe this team. But after a night like that, it's hard not to feel let down. Because what we saw out there wasn't effort. It wasn't heart. It was a group that either gave up, or doesn't know how to fight anymore. And honestly, I can't decide which one's worse. If you're a Raiders fan sitting there thinking, I can't watch this anymore, I don't blame you. Because it hurts. It really does. But I also know one thing, you don't walk away from something you love just because it's broken. You stay, you endure, and you watch closely. Because even in a season this bad, you can still see who truly cares, and who's just collecting a paycheck. Every game now tells a story, who's fighting till the last whistle, and who's waiting for the clock to save them. Who's stepping up when it matters, and who's hiding behind excuses. These are the answers we're learning every single week. And then we've got fans who've been around since the glory days, back when silver and black actually meant something. They wore those colors with pride, not just because of the team, but because of what it represented, loyalty, toughness, and respect. That's what Raider Nation was built on. So yeah, I get the frustration. But being a real fan doesn't mean following a single player or coach, it means standing by the shield, even when it's cracked. That's what pride looks like. That's what belonging looks like. And then there's Pete Carroll's press conference. What a joke. A lot of words, no meaning. Just excuses wrapped in fancy sentences. It's like watching someone serve a flavorless dessert and calling it a feast. He talks about how this team can win, but if that's truly what he believes, then maybe he doesn't understand the problem at all. And that right there is what's terrifying. Because you can't fix what you refuse to see. Stay with me, because the truth behind this team's collapse runs even deeper. You know what's painful? Watching this team throw away opportunity after opportunity, not because of bad luck, but because of bad decisions. When free agency came around, everyone saw the holes. Everyone. But this coaching staff acted like they were smarter than the rest of the league. They thought they had it all figured out, and now we're sitting here with a 1-4 record wondering how it fell apart so fast. It's like they built this roster believing it could win right now, and somehow also develop for the future. But guess what? It's doing neither. This team isn't winning in the present, and it sure doesn't look ready for what's ahead. It's chaos, plain and simple. And maybe the worst part. Nobody seems scared of losing their job. It feels like a coaching staff that knows they're safe no matter how bad it gets. That's the kind of attitude that kills a locker room. When accountability disappears, effort disappears with it. I've been critical before, but at this point, I can't say it any softer. If other coaches were fired for less, then Pete Carroll deserves the same treatment. But we all know he's not going anywhere. He's acting like a man too comfortable, someone who stopped listening, stopped adapting, and stopped caring what happens next. And I say that with frustration because I respect what Pete once was, a motivator, a leader, a fighter. But now, it feels like the fire's gone. And that same comfort has spread to everyone around him. Look at Geno Smith. I truly believed he'd be better. I studied the tape, saw flashes of brilliance, thought maybe, this time it would click. But instead, it's been mistake after mistake, and none of it makes sense. It's not just Geno's fault, though. Chip Kelly's system and Geno's style don't mix. It's like forcing two magnets together the wrong way, they repel each other, and you can feel it every snap. This was supposed to be a partnership built on intelligence and experience. Instead, it's turned into a disaster of confusion and wasted talent. Every drive feels like a guessing game, every play like a gamble that never pays off. Right now, the Raiders aren't just losing games, they're losing direction, identity, and confidence. And until someone steps up and admits the truth, that this team is broken from the top down, nothing will change. Stay with me, because what's coming next might shock you even more. You ever watch something so frustrating that you just sit there in disbelief? That's where I'm at. Because what happened tonight wasn't just a bad game, it was a full-on embarrassment. And the worst part is, this wasn't some surprise collapse. We saw it coming. From the very start of the offseason, everyone, fans, analysts, former players, was saying the same thing: this roster has holes. Fix them. But instead of listening, this coaching staff acted like they knew better than everyone else. They ignored the problems, and now we're watching the results of that arrogance play out on the field every single week. This isn't bad luck. It's stubbornness. It's a team so caught up in its own pride that it refuses to change, even when everything is falling apart. Every decision feels like déjà vu, the same mistakes, the same excuses, the same empty promises. What I wanted this year was simple: a young, offensive-minded coach and a fresh quarterback to grow together. That's how winning franchises rebuild: you take the pain early so you can rise stronger later. But instead, we got the opposite. We got a recycled plan, recycled ideas, and a staff that looks completely out of touch with modern football. You can see it in every play. It's like watching a team still waiting for news in the morning paper while everyone else is already scrolling through the latest stats online. We're behind in everything: speed, creativity, preparation, and attitude. And yet, here I am again, making excuses for this coaching staff like I've done 100 times before. But the truth is, there's no excuse left to make. Fans are losing faith. Players look lost. And when you compare this roster to last year's, somehow, unbelievably, it feels worse. That's not supposed to happen. This isn't just a slump, it's a slow collapse. A rebuild that never rebuilt anything. And the scary part? The people in charge still act like everything's fine. Stay with me, because the storm around this team is only getting louder. At this point, I'm honestly confused about what's really happening inside this team. The way this roster is being built, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't even feel like it has one clear vision. It's as if two different people are pulling it in two different directions. I mean, look at the decisions being made. Some of them just don't make sense. There are choices that go against the kind of team we should be building. It's hard not to wonder, who's really calling the shots here? Is it about pride? Is it about proving a point instead of fixing the problems? Because from the outside, that's exactly what it looks like, stubbornness dressed as confidence. And if you want my honest opinion, this is not a team that's built to win right now. It's built like they think they're preparing for the future, but they don't even seem sure what that future is. If they actually believed this roster was good enough to win, then we've got a serious problem. Because it's not. It's just not. Let's be real. If you were grading that performance, anything above an F would be a lie. You can't call it average, you can't sugarcoat it, it was flat-out bad football. Nothing else fits. And now, the question that everyone's asking, what do we do about the quarterback situation? Geno Smith, look, I respect the guy, but it's getting harder and harder to defend him. Pete Carroll keeps backing him, and I get it, his whole system, his whole legacy even, depends on Geno working out. But how long do you wait before saying, enough? If things aren't working, you have to change something. Maybe it's time to take a risk, bring in someone new, shake things up, test a different direction. Because right now, it's like watching the same movie on repeat, and we already know how it ends. And don't even get me started on the injuries. Losing your top tight end? That's not just a setback, that's a gut punch. Brock Bowers was supposed to be a cornerstone. If he's still not healthy after all these weeks, you've got to ask, what's going on behind the scenes? How do you let your best player fall apart while pretending everything's fine? It's exhausting.